So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of our season 2 here on F1 Manager 23. Now if you didn't watch the last episode in Jeddah, go back and watch it because this Andretti Cadillac team got its first points in F1. If we have a little look at what happened in Saudi Arabia, of course Max Verstappen won it, Checo Perez was in P2, the two Aston Martins looking particularly strong, it was 2x2x2, but Esteban Ocon did manage to get a point. Pierre Gasly in P11 showed some signs of promise as well, so going into this weekend in Australia, we are looking for another point scoring finish. We haven't got too much on the car development side because we've had a fire in the wind tunnel, which has meant we've had to have a temporary shutdown, which has delayed our next designs. I know, when it rains, it pours, but don't worry about that because let's have a little look at the standings. Red Bull are running away with it, 88 points so far at the moment from Aston Martin, Ferrari then Mercedes. We are in a fight with McLaren and Williams and Haas. These four teams look particularly close together so far this season. Going to be very interesting. As the season goes on, I believe we will get stronger, but so will the other teams around us. Max Verstappen leading the way on 52 points. He's been faultless so far. 2 race wins, 2 podiums, just 1 pole position. Slacking Max. What are we doing? Checo Perez is his closest challenger so far, and both Aston Martins doing okay at the moment. We now have as well the team pictures fixed as well, because we didn't have that at the start of the season. It was an error with the updates on the game, so the guy who did the mod has now updated it, and we can see Esteban Ocon there in all his glory on the Cadillac Gainsbridge overalls. As we've stated, we go to Melbourne this weekend, 58 laps around here. Car attributes, top speed, we're not the best at that. High speed cornering, we're okay. We're not the best at a lot of things so far this season. It is a one-stop race maybe. Could we possibly do a 2-stop? We got the strategy right in Jeddah. Maybe we can do it again. I'm going to get through practice. Sophia is going to get her first run out in the car in practice, in this practice session. And I'll see you in qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
These days, it's a much faster layout here at Albert Park, and teams need to focus on getting high and medium speed cornering right to set a good qualifying time.
If we turn our attention to Pierre Gasly for a minute, Karun, how's he going to be feeling as qualifying approaches?
Now this is a driver with confidence, and that's clear from their performance today. But will that confidence pay off? We'll have to wait and see.
So don't go anywhere, folks. It's nearly time for qualifying.
Final flying laps in Q2. Esteban Ocon can't improve. He's knocked out by just 100th of a second. It's all eyes on Pierre Gasly, who was green through the middle sector. Is he going to be able to improve and get himself into Q3? Pierre Gasly crosses the line, goes P13. It's very close though between the top, what would you say, maybe the top sort of 8? It's very close. It's not like last season where there was big gaps. Even though we're starting P11, I mean, look at the difference here. There's only half a second between Pierre Gasly and Lewis Hamilton. I think that's a good thing. We haven't quite got the performance of other cars at the moment, but we're pretty happy with that. We'll see who gets on pole position. Fernando Alonso looking particularly quick in Q2, but let's get to the strategy, because I think we can pick up some points here on Sunday. Right then guys, we are getting a little bit more creative with the strategies this season. So let's start with Pierre Gasly, starting in P13. Don't think it's going to be unlucky for him because he's got 2 sets of soft compound tyres. So he's going to start on the softs, go on to the mediums, and go on to another set of softs at the end. That apparently is 11 seconds quicker than the one-stop. Bear that in mind because Pierre Gasly hasn't got 2 fresh sets of soft, he's only got 1. So what we're going to do is start on the soft compound tyre with Esteban, then go on to the medium, then go on to another set of mediums. That apparently is 9 seconds quicker than the one-stop. So both cars, I think, are in a good position strategy-wise. I think there's some points on offer today. Let's get to 5 red lights for the Australian Grand Prix.
The fans here in Melbourne are all set, as are the drivers, heading into 58 laps around Albert Park. I suspect that we'll all be closely following Charles Leclerc in this one.
Yeah, it's a P5 start. The podium's in sight, but there's a lot standing in their way.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. brace yourselves for the Australian Grand Prix. And it's lights out. Away we go.
And away we go, and straight away Verstappen leading off pole position. Fernando Alonso's dropped back a little bit, but we're going to ride on board with Esteban Ocon into turn 1. He's side by side with Nico Hülkenberg. Pierre Gasly, remember, was in that fight with Alexander Albon last season. Well, Pierre Gasly's saying, I've had enough of that. I'm going to get up into P12. Pierre Gasly gaining a position off the line. Ocon is fighting all the way with Hülkenberg, but looks like he's got the job done. And now he's having a look at Zhou Guanyu in front of him. So a decent start for both our guys. Ocon maintaining position. Hulkenberg staying in P11 as Hulkenberg has another little look at him there. There was a little touch. Hulkenberg looks like he had a touch there on the back tyre. Let's have a little look at that.
Now we've had a crash.
We saw it coming round. Hulkenberg being unnecessarily aggressive on lap 1. Let's have a little look. He pulls to the inside. And then, are we going to get a decent view of this? We're not. We don't get a great replay of it. What it has done has meant Hulkenberg's dropped back. Where is Pierre Gasly in all this? There's a little bit of disappointment in the Andretti garage. Gasly's still running in P12. He's looking to get past Alexander Albon. Hulkenberg, I don't know if he's got damage, but Gasly, he's going to be told to get past Nico Hülkenberg as quickly as he possibly can. And my word, is he diving left and right is Pierre Gasly. He wants to keep up with his teammate, and he's going to be told to deploy as well on the ERS, and he actually loses a little bit of time there. And that allows Alexander Albon to get past him. This is a battle at the end of lap 1. Hulkenberg's covering off the inside. My word, Pierre Gasly's in the wars here. And Pierre Gasly, it's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Pierre Gasly using all the tyres and everything to try and get past Nico Hülkenberg. He goes aggressive and stays in P12. Hulkenberg looks like he's saving the tyres for the moment. He's managing to not have a big impact after that tap with Esteban Ocon, who's lost the position, has lost the DRS, to Zhou Guanyu. We're going to try and get back in the DRS there. All happening here on lap 1, but it is Max Verstappen who leads from Sainz. Stroll then Alonso, Leclerc's in P5, Perez P6. Then come the 2 Mercedes boys. Ocon is doing his absolute utmost to catch back up to Zhou Guanyu in the Williams in front. Then there's a gap to Nico Hülkenberg and Pierre Gasly, but Ocon at the moment just about staying in touch with Zhou Guanyu. Lap 7, you join us back, and Nico Hülkenberg has been overtaken by Pierre Gasly and managed to get back up into P12. Pierre Gasly, we have lost touch of the front 10 runners who are sort of running in a train at this moment in time. Zhou Guanyu's just dropping off a little bit, but Gasly, as you can see, up into P12, and now having a look at Lando Norris, who cannot defend from Pierre Gasly. Fantastic work from him. I'm sure we'll be getting a call on the radio saying what a good job that was. But let's have a little look a bit further forward, because we can see Esteban Ocon has got Zhou Guanyu in front of him. And really, now, who do we get it on with? Because he's lost 2.4 seconds to the Mercedes guys. I think we're quicker than Zhou Guanyu at this moment in time. And Esteban Ocon's going to be told to be aggressive, get past him as quick as he can, because I reckon we've got the pace on him. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly now starting to pull away a little bit from Lando Norris. Lando Norris has got the pace, Hulkenberg hasn't. I do think he may have an issue, but it looks like we've got a yellow flag on circuit. George Russell looks like he's involved, and we have got a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. Let's have a look at this. Esteban Ocon actually showing some damage. George Russell, he looks like he's fighting with his teammate Lewis Hamilton. We've seen this in real life. Lewis Hamilton not giving him the room. Let me know down in the comments whose fault was that. Looking at that replay, maybe that was George Russell's fault turning in. But I will do a little YouTube short of that as well, so let me know down in the comments who do you think was at fault there. Crash between the 2 Mercedes guys. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon has retired. What has happened here? Esteban Ocon fighting for P9, locks up and smashes into the Williams. Esteban Ocon is out of the Australian Grand Prix. So all happening here, Pierre Gasly, DRS is disabled. Pierre Gasly now up into P9, P8 once Hamilton's pit. We may look at possibly making a pit stop shortly. Lap lap 9, a knock-on 5-second penalty, which will carry on to the next race. We'll come back when we're back to green flag running. Virtual safety car has ended, and George Russell in front of him. I believe George Russell's got a penalty as well. Pierre Gasly being told to get those tyres fired up and push now to keep up with this Mercedes. I'm not sure if the Mercedes has got any damage. That's something we're going to have to look at. We've got another yellow flag on circuit. Looks like we've got a spin. I'm trying to keep an eye out on the left-hand side. Who it's for? It's Yuki Tsunoda. Let's have a little look at this one. This has been an action-packed Grand Prix already. Yuki Tsunoda in the Hugo Boss, spinning out. And to be fair, was that the Audi? Does very, very well not to get caught up in that. So Yuki Tsunoda now losing positions. But Pierre Gasly, all he's got to do now, stick with George Russell. And as I say that, Pierre Gasly's thinking, actually, now, I'd rather get past him, Lewis, if that's all right. And to be fair, I'm not going to argue with him. Pierre Gasly, he's past the Mercedes of George Russell, and he's up into P7. Finally, says Pierre Gasly, he is on the 2-stop as well. Will this still work to our advantage? Rather possibly. Lap 10, Verstappen leads from Sainz, who's got the fastest lap. Russell now, I'm wondering if he's got some sort of damage, because Pierre Gasly did breeze past him there. I know he's got the DRS as well. He's on the medium compounded tyre. But Pierre Gasly is pulling out quite some gap here at this moment in time. Lap 10, Gasly Gasly is the only Andretti left in the race. I was just about to come back and tell you that Pierre Gasly is holding George Russell off brilliantly. And the leaders have crashed on lap 14. Let's have a little look at this. It's Verstappen versus Sainz. We've got the Aston Martin in behind as well. Who's going to cause this? Verstappen probably. They go through the barriers. 1 and 2, P1 and 2, both crashing. The Ferrari's on fire, and that is possibly one of the biggest and most serious crashes we've seen on F1 Manager this season. Pierre Gasly now promoted to P5, a full course safety car, and we are now going to be pitting. But my word, that is the biggest crash we've seen. Verstappen and Sainz both out of the Grand Prix. Here we go, guys. Pit stop for Pierre Gasly. In fact, everybody at this moment in time is pitting. We need a good pit stop here. It's a 2.5, and we get away beautifully as well. We get away beautifully. Have we gained any positions there? Let's have a little look at this. Where's Fernando Alonso? Fernando Alonso's out. Gasly out into P6. Hamilton didn't pit under safety car. Obviously, he's already been in. They're going on to soft compound tyres. Everybody committing to the 2-stop strategy now. But Pierre Gasly on the mediums, he's going to have to make these last a little bit longer, as we can see. But we will be bringing in the soft compound tyre towards the end. If he can make this stint last, which I'm presuming he will be able to, we are going to be coming in somewhere around lap 39, I would suggest. Lap 39 will come in. Obviously, he's not going to be using his tyres up at the moment, so he can conserve the tyres a little bit. And then when we get back to green flag running, we are in a very good position with Pierre Gasly. So then, guys, here we go. We are going back to green flag running, and it is Lance Stroll who will lead us away in the Aston Martin. From Checo Perez, then comes Leclerc, Alonso, Hamilton, and Pierre Gasly in P6. It's exciting times here at Andretti on the pit wall, because we reckon we are on for points today. And what's also very exciting for us, we've got the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton in front of us. Bear in mind, we were absolutely keeping pace with George Russell. In fact, we were keeping in front of George Russell. So if Pierre Gasly can stay in the DRS of Lewis Hamilton, we should be safe as houses. As you can see on the right-hand side as well, we've got plenty of fuel left. We've actually got far too much fuel now. We were going to underfuel. We've got plenty of fuel in, so we can push on that towards the end. But all he's got to do is stay with Lewis Hamilton in this next couple of laps, and we will be absolutely laughing as he pulls us along with the top guys. Now, what's also noted, these guys on soft compound tyres in front, we are going to be on the softs at the end. So my main fear now is that Pierre Gasly has just got to keep pace with this Mercedes, who's really struggling to keep pace with the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso. If we can do this, we'll be absolutely laughing. Lap 19, I'm getting excited. Lap 22, and Pierre Gasly has had to burn all of his battery to catch Lewis Hamilton, to stay in the DRS, but now he's got in the DRS. This is allowing him to just stay clear of George Russell in P7. He's just got to stay with Lewis Hamilton through this middle sector. If he can do that, then we should be absolutely laughing, because Lewis Hamilton's not the quickest on the circuit at the minute, and we are getting this DRS. We're pushing on the fuel like crazy because we are conscious. That we're very overfueled now due to this safety car. So lap 22, it's Perez that's now leading from Stroll, Leclerc P3, Alonso P4, Hamilton is in P5. But all we want to do now is just stay with Lewis Hamilton, use the DRS and let him keep us away from his teammate. And if we have a look at it now, Pierre Gasly weaving side to side. He's actually going for the move. He's going for the move here, and he's got the move done. He's up into P5. We don't particularly need him to be doing this, Pierre Gasly. He may lose a fair bit of time here to Lewis Hamilton. I think Lewis Hamilton's going to get the DRS, which is not ideal at all. Let's have a little look. It is Lewis Hamilton who does get the DRS. Pierre Gasly's going to hold him up, and this has brought George Russell right back into play. Lap 23, not the smartest move from Pierre Gasly. Lap 30, you join us back. We've had another crash on circuit. Fortunately, it's not the Alpine of Pierre Gasly is the name I'm thinking of. It's Oscar Piastri with the Haas, and they're playing Skittles as well. And that is Oscar Piastri, I would imagine, out of this race, if not very, very much demoted towards the back of the grid. I was just going to bring your attention to Pierre Gasly, because what he has been doing is just keeping these guys behind at bay. Even though they've had DRS, they can't seem to get past the Andretti of Pierre Gasly. We can see Piastri and Hülkenberg. Piastri's rear wing's knackered. I think that's him pretty much done. Nico Hülkenberg's front wing's knackered. That's him pretty much done. But Pierre Gasly at the moment just continuing to just manage the pace, keep blocking Hamilton off. And as Hamilton's tyres are dying off a little bit, we're just staying in front beautifully. Lap 30, Gasly on for a very, very good points haul today. We've just got to get that final pit stop absolutely spot on. Lap 35, we can see Lando Norris just come into the pits. He's going onto the soft compounder tyre early, is Lando Norris. So, very interesting indeed. I'm going to try and have a look at what his tyre percentage is when he comes out onto the circuit. We're pitting in 4 laps time, so Lando Norris, he may try and get the undercut on us here. He's on the soft compound tyre, fresh soft compound tyres for Lando Norris. Pierre Gasly just topping up at the moment, currently sat in P5. We could cover Lando off at the moment, but I think it's possibly a little bit too early for us. If we just have a little look at the strategy, if we move this to us now, it's not going to make that much of a difference, so we may react to Lando Norris in a lap's time. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy where we are on pace. Lap 35, Gasly in a couple of laps. Got a few guys into the pits, and Pierre Gasly is one of them. I think Lando Norris may have jumped us here. Let's keep a close eye on proceedings here, because in comes Pierre Gasly. Where is Lando Norris? It's 2.7 seconds stop. Where is Gasly? Gasly trundling down the pit lane. We're keeping an eye on Lando Norris. Pierre Gasly comes out. He is behind Lando Norris, but he's not behind him by a great deal. And we are now on the much fresher set of soft compound tyres. So this, I believe, will work for us as we try to get these tyres up to temperature. Gap between us and Norris is 2.5 seconds. That's a big, big gap now. We've got a few cars in front of us yet to pit. Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Hamilton and Albon all yet to pit. But now we are chasing down Lando Norris for this position. We possibly could have covered him off earlier. I felt that might have been a bit too much on the tyres. This may come to us towards the end. Lap 30. And on lap 40, Pierre Gasly is cooking on gas at the minute, because he's now caught up with Lando Norris. And not only that, Tsunoda and Ricciardo, the two Hugo Boss cars, are fighting with each other, and this has put Lando Norris in a lot of jeopardy. He's dodging right to left to try and get an opening, as are we. This is going to be absolutely the crucial part of the race, as Lewis Hamilton is into the pits, and now it's all about if Pierre Gasly can get past these cars. Let's have a little look at what happens here, because he's been told to be aggressive on the overtakes, and here we go. Lando Norris has DRS, as does Pierre Gasly. Lewis Hamilton is trundling out of the pit lane. Gasly's already passed him, but Gasly can't make a move into this corner. but will be looking to make a move down the next one. We need to get past these cars when Lando Norris does, and Pierre Gasly has got a nice little run up the inside here. Will he go for a move? Lando Norris does. Pierre Gasly looking to the right. Lando Norris looks like he's dispatched one of the Hugo Boss cars, and now Pierre Gasly's got to get past this one of Danny Ricciardo as quickly as he possibly can. He's looking to the right, looking to the left, goes for the move down the right hand side. My God, party moused up here. He's got a tyre on the grass, has Pierre Gasly. Is he going to manage to get past this Hugo Boss car? He looks like he certainly is, and Pierre Gasly is up into P8. George Russell's quite a distance back, as is Lewis Hamilton. Pierre Gasly enjoyed that. Finally, says Pierre Gasly, and he's now going to get DRS down this next straight. Will he be able to get past the Hugo Boss car of Yuki Tsunoda here? He goes round the outside, does Pierre Gasly. And oh my God, I'm enjoying watching my drivers at the moment. Pierre Gasly up into P7 and has still got the DRS on Lando Norris. Beautiful work from Pierre Gasly. He's up into P7. He's got the DRS and Lando Norris. We're just going to tell him to calm down on the overtakes because I've got to calm down at the moment. But Pierre Gasly into P7 has got the DRS on Lando Norris now. And this is beautiful, beautiful work from the French driver. Muy bien, whatever you want to call it. My French ain't that good, but my God, Pierre Gasly is at this moment in time. At the front, Perez and Stroll are still going at it, hammer and tongs. We've still got in front of us Albon yet to pit, so this is essentially the battle for P5 between Norris and Gasly. This is going to be big points for either McLaren or Andretti. It's a shame Ocon's not still in it. Ocon obviously out early doors with that crash, but lap 42, the battle for P5 is on. Lap 48, you join us back, and this could be absolutely crucial in terms of this race, because if Pierre Gasly can get past Alexander Albon here, which he has done like an absolute beast that he is, Pierre Gasly is past him, he's got the DRS, and Alexander Albon is going to be slow through this middle sector. His tyres are cooked. Alexander Albon, I don't know if he's going to the end here, 33% on the tyres for Alexander Albon, and look at this, he's already pulled out a second on Lando Norris. That should be job done for Pierre Gasly and P5 today. At the front, Perez is still fighting with Stroll. Leclerc is trying to catch these front two runners to get involved in it. If we have a look at the tyres, Leclerc's got the tyres on Stroll, but Stroll's hanging on to that DRS of Checo Perez. But Pierre Gasly now pulled out a second and a bit on Alexander Albon, and this is exactly what he needed to do. Pierre Gasly is having a fantastic day. 10 laps to go. We're on for good points. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, last lap of the Grand Prix, and Checo Perez is leading from Lance Stroll. 0.5 of a second, half a second is the gap between the two cars at the front. Alonso's up into P3. It could be a double podium today for the Aston Martin boys. Pierre Gasly is just crossing the line to start his final lap. As you can see, 3.4 seconds is the gap to Lando Norris. It is job done for Pierre Gasly. We're just going to tell him to just go balanced on the fuel now, take no risks and bring this on, but we're going to stick with the battle for the win here, because Lance Stroll is closing on Checo Perez. We're going to ride on board with the Canadian driver in the Aston Martin. He's going to get a one last DRS straight. Is he going to manage to make the move? Lance Stroll into the final sector. Can he get the job done into this right-hander? It doesn't look like he can. Checo Perez looks like he's got the job done, and Leclerc can't get past the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso either. So Lance Stroll now isn't going to manage to get this win unless he can get a good run up to the line. Lance Stroll giving it the absolute beans up to the line. He will get a little bit of DRS. Will he manage to get this on the line? He doesn't. Checo Perez wins from Stroll. Alonso in P3. P4 to Leclerc, but ladies and gentlemen, driver of the day. Let's have a little look at this, because we had a difficult start in Bahrain. It's improved in Jeddah, and ladies and gentlemen, it is improving even more at the Albert Park circuit, because Pierre Gasly is going to come across the line and get P5 for Andretti Cadillac. We're absolutely buzzing with that, and Pierre Gasly, you deserve all of this.
P5.
Really good strategy. Cheers, thanks guys.
Yes, we keep pushing, mate.
Wow.
We keep pushing. We'll get there.
We keep pushing, and he's race engineer swearing on the radio. I've got to say, we've enjoyed that today. Let's get to the podium scenes, but my word, just enjoy this because it's P5 for Pierre Gasly. We've got a couple of decent drivers here. Esteban Ocon will be frustrated. Yes, we've needed a little bit of luck with Verstappen and Sainz coming together, and that was one hell of a crash. But my word, Pierre Gasly, beautiful work.
What a masterclass drive from Pierre Gasly today.
There wasn't too much expectation on them today, but they fought hard and found themselves in the points.
The team has been waiting patiently there, and you can see just how much it means to each and every one of them. And onto the podium goes Sergio Perez, and he's certainly in good company there.
And that's win number 1 of the season, and it's sure to provide them with a real confidence boost.
One Red Bull doesn't win, the other one tends to
Well, it wasn't
double
exactly a
podium
walk in the park,
for
but it
Aston
was a
Martin
brilliant
as the champagne comes raining down on the podium. Checo Perez wins with the fastest lap. So full points for Checo Perez. Lance Stroll in P2, Alonso P3, Leclerc P4, Pierre Gasly up 8 places. And it's got to be said, Lando Norris as well. Lando Norris up 8 places as well to P7. Gasly and Norris really benefiting from other people's mistakes today. George Russell P8, P9 for Alexander Albon, P10 for Kevin Magnussen in the Haas, and then the people at the back who had a lot of problems. Tsunoda had a pit stop problem and a spin that we saw on circuit. Verstappen and Sainz coming together. Ocon coming together as well, locking up on the brakes. Unfortunate for Esteban, but Pierre Gasly, probably for the first time since early last season, is now the lead Andretti driver in the standings. 10 points for Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris gets 6 points as well. He's on 7 points now. Checo Perez takes the lead of the driver standings from Max Verstappen. Lance Stroll in P3, Alonso P4. Constructor standings wise, Red Bull do maintain the lead, but Aston Martin closing. It's now 86 points for Aston Martin. It's 25. No, it isn't. It's 20. It's 30. It's 29 points is the gap between Red Bull and Aston Martin. Not so quick maths. I haven't got the facilities for that big man. Andretti Cadillac down in P5, but we are up to 11 points for the season, jumping ahead of Williams and McLaren. I've really enjoyed that. Yes, Esteban Ocon went out, and we're upset about that, and that's going to cost us a few quid as well. But you've got to enjoy these moments. Andretti in P5, we're coming back to the top, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra!